Hello, my dear listeners out there. I am Mr. Icon Promise Monday Johnson Udodo. I am introducing a ministry known as Icons Connect Group and Ministry. Icons Connect Group and Ministry was found in year 2022, sorry to say, and it was found in the prison custody at Ikot Abasi Custodian Center, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Icons Connect Group and Ministry was founded and be broken out from Prisoners for Christ, Nigerian Institute. However, the founder of Icons Connect Group and Ministry is nobody else but Icon Promise Johnson Udodo. He is a scientist, he is a psychologist, he is a philosopher, he's also a he's a minister of the gospel, and is also a gospel musician of our time. However, aim and objectives of Icons Connect Group and Ministries are as follows. Number one, we are to teach and to train people on how to discover their talents. Number two, we are out to train and to teach people on how to get success easier for them in life, and also to discover the secret of success in life. Number three, we are out to teach people and to train people on how to surpass mountains of life. Mountains of life in the sense of suffering, being in bondages. There are so many people who have been in slavery, been in bondages, temptations and otherwise, which actually means mountains of life. But some people might have been suffering and they don't know how to go out of it. And they don't know actually what made them to be suffering. But here in Icons Connect Group, we are to teach people on how they can surpass it and be delivered out from the bondages. However, Icons Connect Group and Ministry has a mandate that we are running with. However, God has called him into ministry, and he gave him a mandate to run with this group and ministry as well, known as Icons Connect Group. However, the mandate for the Icons Connect Group is power through imagination. However, power through imagination was given to him to run with. However, Icon Promise Monday Johnson Udodo has gone far to write books of different types, but there are some that will be listed below. He has written a book known as 7 Power Ideas. However, we are going to start not just only 7 Power Ideas. He has gone far also to discover an electronic time detector. Electronic time detector is a computer device and an electronic time stopwatch which is used to detect dreams by night. And it has been proven and been tested round about the world. And the result for it is each and every person on earth has at least a maximum of 8 dreams by night, minimum 7 dreams by night. That is the report we have from the computer devices known as electronic time detector. He has also gone far to discover laws and principles, theory and theories about the Earth cycle pulse. And this is what we known as cosmic reaction force. It is a force that is governed unto every creature created by God, including humankind. Whatever you do on earth is governed by this law known as cosmic reaction force. While the principles have gone far around the world, other scientists have given testimonies about it, and the book has been written, which actually we are yet to make it published to the world to see, and other students to learn about it. That is all about the books that was written by Icahn. That's not just enough to summarize. There are other principles and theory that he has done so far, that has gone far in the world. There are quotations and quotable quotes that has been doing. But however, to summarize this is just to get clear, and we are going to start the main teaching from the very first book, known as Discover Your Talent. Discovering your talents is a kind of principle, is a kind of character, is a kind of questions you may ask yourself. How do you came into this world, and what are the purpose why you came into this world? Therefore, we are starting it right away. And we are starting from chapter number 1. Chapter number 1, we are starting as in schemata in the real world of knowledge. However, what is the meaning of schemata in the real world of knowledge? In much recent research of my book here, as in human memory deals with international linguistic materials such as words, sentence, or stories. There are 4 types of schemata such as follows. Schemata in the world of imagination, that's number 1. Schemata in the real world of creation. Schemata in the real world of memory. Schemata in the real world of plans and careers setting. However, before we treat much on these above mentions of schemata, we shall treat on cognitive as a topic. Cognitive functions. Cognitive functions are cognitive comprises of 2 indispensable dimensions in which we have A, we have B, cognitive dissonance, and cognitive consonance. Cognitive in particular can be explained as the acts of faculties of knowledge. However, as we have stated, schemata, the real world of knowledge. However, for you to discover your talents in the schemata of real world of knowledge is just for you to have a clear thought of your life. Maybe the way rough things life are rough with you, the way things are. Then sometimes you may not ask yourself a question. What were you born into this world for? What are your assignments in this life? What were you purposely born for? And what are the responsibilities that you need to take to become something? Or what are the mediums or the factors that you need to take to become whatever you want to be? And the questions here are, what are my purposes in life? What are my definite drive in life? And what are my assignments? Haven't you gotten the answers of these? Because the answer actually will not come from the author and the book, but the answers will come to you if you are interested to search out to discover your talent. However, to discover talent is a great deal, and to build up your talent is a great deal. I paraphrased. Maybe you want to be a scientist, a doctor, a lawyer. First and foremost, you have to sit down, give yourself an assessment, analyze an assessment to yourself. Then you ask yourself, I want to be a scientist. What are the costs to be a scientist? What are the sacrifices I need to pay to become a scientist? Where do I start from? How do I start? And when do I start? And how to pay the sacrifice? First and foremost, you have to go on a research. And going out for a research, you conclude within yourself and you draw the analysis and you assess yourself if you are capable of discovering your talent. Number 2 point is you have to create the imaginations of what you want to be. Just as I earlier said, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a scientist, or to become a lawyer. You have to do what? Create an imagination. First and foremost, you have to see yourself imagining. If you are to be a lawyer, you have to see yourself imagining how you are judging cases in the courts. Everything needs to be done in your memory sensory. Everything needs to be done by your spiritual assessment. After doing all this, the second point of discovering your talent is to sit down and begin to work towards what you have just imagined. Maybe after you don't do all these imaginations, you create a space for dream. That is the third point. You create a space for your dream. A dream, you must have to create a dream on your own. However, there's one of my quotable quotes in one of my philosophical books that I state that great men create their dreams. They create their world. They live in it and they rule by it. If you really want to discover your talent, you have to create a vacuum for the dream to be shown. Sometimes you may lie down in the night, you might be dreaming, seeing it. All it comes from the imaginations of your thoughts. All it comes from the power of your mindset. Without you having a mindset, there is no way you can discover your talent. As I earlier said, that every great man have to create a dream. Having created a dream, the next point is to do what? To create a spirit over your talent. For an instance, maybe you want to be a scientist. After getting this imagination, seeing yourself in a dream or imagining yourself discovering things or whatever you want to invent, the next thing you need to do, you have to create the spirit. That is the next point we are talking about. You have to create a spirit over it. The spirit over it here is a force. However, some people think maybe spirit is all about a devil or a spirit being a monster, or somehow some people say spirit is a living being. But actually, that is not true. In psychology, we understand spirit to become a force. And this force is a force that will come out from your inner man or the inner mind of yours. That spirit is a force, a strong force. Even when you go to dictionary, Webster dictionary, English versions, you will get to understand that spirit is a force that is being propelled out from a man, inside of a man. Now, if you want to discover yourself as a lawyer or as a scientist, you need to create a spirit, a force to propel you into your career. However, the next point here is, after having created a spirit, you need to think on how to create on what you need to do. Maybe you want to be a scientist, you have to create. You have to create. Draw the plan, put it on a board, put it on a shelf and on a sheet of paper. Then begin to do what? Work towards it. This is where we are talking about plan and how to build up your talent. As I earlier said before, it is a great deal to discover your talent, and it is another great deal to build up your talent. Haven't you asking yourself those questions I have already listed above? Then you create the spirit, you create the imaginations. the next thing you need to do is to begin the planning work of it. Just like when I started writing this book, as my first discovery, electronic time detector, having creating my imaginations, creating the dreams, creating the force and everything, the vacuums to start. What I did is I wrote down everything that I have seen in the imaginational world. Then I brought everything into writing. I created the I now draw. I draw the graph. I set up everything. Before I could know what is actually happening, I discovered what we call electronic time detector, which is a computer device. So actually, this is one of the reasons and the most powerful reason you need to do to discover your talents. Another point here is this: meditation is a powerful key that we need to use to discover our talents. What you do, you have to move out from the environment where there is too much of crowd. You can get to the mountain if there is any mountain close to you. You can get to the stream where if there is any stream close to you. Or you get into the bush where nobody will disturb you, neither any voice. Then you begin to meditate. And when you begin to meditate, that is where you will be getting ideas from. And when you get these ideas on how to go about your discovery or how to go about your plans, you'll be able to jot them down. If possibly, you can go with your writing materials in case if there is any inspiration that will fall from the ideas, then you jot them down. And secondly, when we are talking about mountains, we are not going there for charms and other things. No. Mountains are places where you can discover powers, where you can detect powers. Streams, we are not talking of going to there to go and meet any marine spirits, but you go there to sit down, to meditate, so that you can tap powers. And when we are talking about forest or bush, we are not going there to do any other thing, but we are going there to tap from the sources of the spiritual well of knowledge. This is how we do. Mountains has helped us a lot, most especially even Jesus Christ in the Bible did it. Jesus Christ didn't just went to the mountain for the purpose of fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. He went to the mountain because he has read about the prophecy that has been stated concerning him. But having him knowing all these things, he decided to say, okay, let him go to the mountain and pray and at the same time meditate and hear from the Father if truly what has been written in the books of prophets. When he went to the mountain, he concentrated and he meditated. And when he meditated, the spirit of the ideals and the spirit of God, which is the Father, was descended upon him. And before he knew himself or realized himself, it was after 40 days and 40 nights without food. This is some of the principles. Like in my own case, when I was meditating in the mountain also, it took me 3 good days without eating. I didn't even know that I have not even eaten at all. But this is the functions of meditations. When the spirit of the meditations of the spirit of God is upon you, for meditating, you will see yourself. You can't even realize yourself, neither will you even think of food. So this is the same thing that happens to Jesus Christ. What happened here is that meditation is a principle for discovering yourself. There is no great man today who has discovered himself that has not gone through meditation. And having gone through meditation, there is no how that this person will realize himself, maybe after some days, before he gets to realize himself. In summary, as we said, that meditation can also help you to create and imagine and inventions. And this is all about discovering your talents in this chapter, which is schemata in the real world of knowledge. This is how we do. This is how you go about it. This is how you create. For you to create an invention, it's all about drawing out your plans, drawing out the drafts based on what you see, and that is what we can do, and that is what you can also do. As we started like this, you too can do it. It's the same thing as other scientists out there. If at all you are interested to become a scientist. So remember, creation in the real world of knowledge, which is schemata in the real world of knowledge. As you listen for the next topic, when we meet another day, we shall be treating on PMA, which is positive mental attitude. So remember, as you follow us on this, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other channels. So as you go on, you as the viewer